Happy New Year, everyone. Just want to give a quick update. So, put my car on the meter at my buddy's house, and we ran into some technical difficulties. So, I'm gonna throw some clips here in the video quick, and we'll come back after we look at those. I just threw a layer of E6000 on these things. This one on the bottom side where the speaker terminals were contacting the cone on the back. This one across there. And then where you can see the spots where it was contacting the metal speaker grills. So I'm gonna leave this to set for probably an hour or two, and then I might do another layer on some of these bigger cracks on this, but it's starting to set up. So and I glued it from the back as well, and I put all the pieces that I found in the trunk and in the box back on in the spots that they went and glued them in. So this one's pretty good. This one got the worst of it. We're gonna see if we can keep these running, but it's gonna be a process. So I'll pick the camera back up if anything changes. So the speaker grills that were meant to protect the subs, first off, these NVX VCW12s, you can get them for about $154 if you use discount code Riley815 at nvx.com. Great subwoofer. I've had no issues with these. I've been beating on them for about 3 years now in my daily driver, and they take the abuse. So anyway, they're only rated to about 20 millimeters of X-Max, and once I put them on the 5K, they were moving a little bit more than they were rated for, and the speaker cone and the surround was hitting the speaker grill. Now, hitting the speaker grill enough damaged the surround to the point of failure, and it all blew apart. And so even with the cones hitting the speaker grill, at 37 hertz, we're in the ballpark of between 3 and 4 times the power of what we had before. But we went up 6 decibels and sealed on the dash. I did a 147.7, and then I opened the door and it went up to a 149.1, also at 37 hertz. So we didn't do a lot of DV drag this year, as I almost knock over my drink. So the only scores I had for sealed on the dash, I did street stock 1K, I did a 141.3, and at the time I was only clamping 461 watts because my alternator was failing, and I had severe voltage drop and current supply issues, and it was giving me tons of trouble. I couldn't support a 1,000-watt system on my alternator. So anyway, after the alternator, I was on a burp. I did a little over 1,100 watts. So having the right electrical is everything in this this hobby. So the only other metric I have before I raised my tuning for the last show of the year, which is where I got all my bigger numbers, the other one was qualifying for bantamweight trunk with Iasca. And so with a 30-second average on music, I did a 140.95. So right around a 141. So 141 music, 141.5, let's say, as a burp, once my voltage was a little bit better. So to go from a 141 to a 147, solid, I'd say a solid 6 decibel jump just on the power. So now I used E6000 to glue the surrounds back together. Those are a little over 24 hours now. They've been sitting. So should be pretty cured. It's about 70 degrees in the house. So should be all right. We've got that front and back. I had to take everything out of the subwoofer box and find the pieces of foam to glue back together. I had to go through the trunk and find the chunks of foam. That's what made me know something was wrong, is as I was trying to do these tests on the meter, pieces of foam started flying around the trunk and I could see them, and I knew something was very, very wrong. So because I could watch the numbers start coming down. I was losing all the pressure because the seals were broken. Anyway, so speakers are glued back up, and we're going to just go over everything. Just make sure the wires are good. We're going to shorten the port a little bit. We're going to target 40 hertz as our peak frequency. I believe I'm box tuning. Right now my box tuning is about 35.5 based on the math that I did. And my peak frequency is about 37. So if I shorten the port to about 17 inches, I will gain a little bit of volume. My net volume increases to 4.04. It was 3.87. So just a slight, like about a 0.2 cubic foot increase. Not much, but it's something. Usually bigger boxes will be a little bit louder, with the downside being you start losing cone control when you're doing what I'm doing and doing burps at double the subwoofer's rated power. But with a shorter port, our tuning should be about 38.5. So we're gaining about 3 decibels. I'm expecting the peak frequency in the car to go up between 3 and 4 decibels as well. Either a 40 or 41 as the peak in the car. To do the calculation of you don't want to play more than half an octave below your tuning frequency. So if my tuning frequency is, let's round up and say 39, you multiply that by 0.75, gets us right around 30 hertz is where we want to stop playing, at least above maybe a third volume. You can still play low frequencies at low volume. It's just when you start putting more power to it, the subs start just reacting wildly, and they can bottom out, and things are less than happy. So anyway, so we should see, just on the frequency change, a slight bump in output, slight bump in frequency, and I'm expecting pretty easily we should hit a 148 sealed on the dash. We'll get a 150, which I'm excited. My whole goal has been to hit a 150 this year. I had to get a new amp, but that was to be expected. And now my next thing will be lithium, probably. I need new batteries either way. I'm gonna have to save up for a little bit for that. But I'll make another video talking about lithium, talking about voltage ranges and things like that. Because I've been looking into this for a couple months now, and I feel like I've learned enough to share what I've learned and things that I've seen. Anyway, I'm excited. I think we'll see a 150 on the dash with driver's door open, and then we'll throw the meter down in the kick, door open. Should be the absolute loudest score The grills are going to be off the box. I'm going to just do some touch-up paint work on the box. And once we get our peak scores, you know, I just want to see the scores on the screen. I'm also going to use my meters. I have just the simple Harbor Freight multimeter and amp meter. Actually, I'll grab it. So this guy, I think it was like $15. That's what I used to collect a whole 2 pages of data. So, and then the Harbor Freight standard multimeter. So basically, you look at your real-time AC voltage with this, and your AC amperage with this. Now, if you multiply them, that's your wattage. You divide volts by amps, and you'll have your resistance, which is your ohms. So that's how you would calculate your impedance rise. And so I'll probably just video as I'm doing this, so that I can see the numbers on the screen, and then I'll review the video, see what the peaks are, and just multiply it out, figure out if at double the power, triple the power, is the impedance rise the same? Does it change a little bit? And how much power does it take to do certain things? So I might turn it so I'm seeing exactly 140 decibels on the meter and check the numbers, or do a 130, a 140, 145, just slowly turn it up and just see what it takes to do those numbers, and check the wattage. I think it'll be interesting. That'll also give me an idea of what this amp is outputting. The downside of these cheap meters, they're $40 for the 2 of them combined. They don't have a peak hold function, so it's purely based on what I can see on the screen. And so the amp might burp, and then so it'll go from 0, burp, and then come down a little bit and kind of plateau. So we'll be reading more of the plateau, but we'll also see on the screen the real-time SPL. So, and it'll just give us an idea. It's a ballpark number until we're using a term lab, doing a competition, which that'll be probably March or April. We'll start seeing those again. But anyway, so those are the quick little updates of what I'm doing to the subwoofer box, what I am doing to the subs. We'll get our peak numbers. I'll have that for my records, I guess. I'm just excited because this is a 3-year-old setup. This is my first box that I built for the 212s. I haven't changed the box, and I'm very happy with how everything's turned out, and I've learned a lot in the last 3 years. And hopefully 2023 we'll get a new pair of subs, build a new box out of birch, go lithium, new amp rack, do a battery delete in the front, use nice birch for all of those things, and then stain it all to match and make it look all nice, and then just have fun in the 2,000 to 3,000 watt classes. And I might get another port so I can swap between ports, so I can have a really low tuning frequency and then a really high tuning frequency, and compete that way. So compete with a high frequency because my output will be higher. So when I raised my tuning frequency from about 37 up to 46, I was seeing I had a 2.5 decibel increase just off of changing the tuning. So the only concern of mine with what I'm doing is these numbers are going to be absolute maximum output from the amp, and in a competition I'll dial up the amp right up to where the limits are for the classes. So I might not be able to get the same numbers in competition. It's just, for me, I'm excited to know what my system will do at full tilt. But anyway, so this is the update, and hope you're all doing well. Happy New Year's. This will probably post tomorrow midday, and we're gonna hit 2023 pretty hard. We're gonna actually take audio seriously. I learned a lot in 2022, and I'm excited to take that into 2023, maybe build up some points. I would like to go to Slamology. I would like to go to some of these finals for some of these organizations, depending on where they are. And I think this will be a lot of fun. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. My channel kind of blew up overnight, it feels like, and I think that's kind of cool. Last I looked, I had about 215 people subscribed to the channel, and it kind of makes my day. I think it's cool. So I'm not a content creator. I'm not some flashy personality. I'm recording what I'm doing and what I enjoy, and trying to help people that are in my shoes, you know, maybe a year and a half ago, and just give them an idea, give people an idea of what they can do with kind of a budget setup. And a lot of the things that it took me, you know, a year to figure out, I can maybe explain to someone in 5 minutes. So that's what I enjoy about this, and I hope my videos are helpful, and until my next video posts, like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.